Hi guys, it's Shell, Heart of It All Custom Creations. Welcome back to another video. If you're new to my channel, thank you so much for stopping by. Hit that subscribe button to see future videos. I post new videos every Wednesday and Saturday. So today I have a very gorgeous tumbler using vinyl. So let's go ahead and jump right into the video. So I am using a 20-ounce sublimation tumbler because it's already white and I couldn't spray paint this day. So I'm using this vinyl I got from the Vinyl Cottage. It is stunning and it's got like these books all over it and it's just gorgeous color and it's a patterned repeat, and I'm only going to be using a portion of it and saving the rest for something else. So I'm going to go ahead and cut out, I believe I cut out like the first 3 rows. That way, because then it starts to repeat itself. So that's what I'm going to do. It's just the first 3. And that'll go on to the bottom portion. And then it kind of has like a somewhat matching vinyl that goes with it. I don't think it really goes together, but the colors match perfectly. So I cut that out, set the rest aside for future use, and then just continue to trim off the excess vinyl that I don't need, just to trim it down so that'll go onto the tumbler perfectly. And here is that other vinyl, and as you can see, the colors match perfectly, and I thought these two went very well. So when I seen this on the Vinyl Cottage website, I just had to get it, knowing these two would go together so well. And it's just, I think they're beautiful together. So I'm going to go ahead and cut that out as well, and cut that down. And then I'm going to go ahead and pull off a little portion of the backing of the one piece and cut off about an inch or 2, probably 2. And then be able to lay this down, to lay it on my tumbler, and just lay that back down so that when I wrap it around, I could just pull that little sliver off and lay it down. So I'm going to go ahead and start on the bottom portion, and I'm going to line it up and then wrap it around to make sure that it's lined up pretty well. And once I get it to exactly where it's lined up, I will hold on tightly to it and then just pull off that little slice that I cut off, and then smooth it down and adhere it to the cup. And then I will continue to lay down the rest because I know it's lined up pretty well. And I just use my squeegee to go around, and this helps eliminate a lot of air bubbles. I mean, you're still going to get some, but it eliminates a lot of them. And once I get all the way down to around to the back, I'm going to cut off the excess, and then I will then take my craft knife and cut off any overlapping as close to the seam as possible without actually cutting off any excess to where you can actually see the tumbler underneath. And this lined up really well to where you really can't see any, where it looks off. It looks like a seamless pattern, which is awesome. So then I'll just go around and I will pop any bubbles that did happen to stay and pop those. And then I'm going to go ahead and, oh, I guess I hadn't already cut up the top portion. So here I'm measuring how much I want to cut off for the floral vinyl. And I do cut this a little bit bigger than I need just to make sure that there is enough and I'm not cutting it too short. So I wrap it around and I just mark off exactly how much I need, and then just mark it with a pen. And then when I do cut it, I will cut it just a little bit longer than I need so that I'll be able to pull it up over the top. So I do give myself a little bit of extra there. So I'll line it up there onto my cutter here. My paper cutter, that's what it's called, scrapbook paper cutter, and cut that off. And then I can do this here, and I just line it up right at the bottom portion of the vinyl and do the same thing, wrap it around and line that all up, make sure that it lines up fairly decently, and do the same thing. Here I am taping it just so that it doesn't move. When I go to wrap it around, because it was giving me a little bit of fits when I was trying to move it and hold it. For some reason it wanted to move around on me, so I did tape it a little bit just to keep it secure as I was moving it. So that tape did hold it there while I juggled where I wanted it to be, and then I cut off the excess and got that all cut away and pulled off the excess that I didn't need. And then I do pull up the top over the rim, and then I'm going to take my craft knife. Now you'll see here I do not have a fresh blade, so it gave me a fit, and I decided it's time to change the blade. And you'll see how much smoother it goes when you change the blade. And ignore my grandson's drawing. He texted me a picture. So yeah. But yeah, changing the blade and cutting your vinyl to have a fresh blade will go so much smoother. I just forgot. And so always make sure you have a fresh blade. And here you go. You see it goes, it's like butter. It goes right through that vinyl. No problem. So then I'm taking it, going at a 45-degree angle just to expose a little bit of that rim there. And then popping any bubbles in that other vinyl. And then I will, after that's all done, I do give this a coat of epoxy. Actually, I may have given this 2 coats of epoxy just to make sure that I seal that all pretty good. But first, before I did that, I believe I paint the bottom. Yeah, I'm going to tape the bottom of this just using electrical tape, and I'm going to paint this using a light pink because I want this to have that same color pink that's in some of that vinyl. So I am going to paint this a light pink, just a normal acrylic paint. So that's what I'm going to do here. this ended up needing 3 coats of that acrylic paint. So before I move on to epoxy, what I ended up deciding to do was in that little well in the bottom, I decided to take a little bit of epoxy that I had from a different project, and I'm going to add just, I had just a little bit let me speak. I had just a little bit of epoxy left, so I mixed a little bit of this like pink golden mica powder into that epoxy that was left, and I'm just going to fill that little well in the bottom just to add a little something extra. And I'm just going to fill the bottom of this tumbler, and I'm going to let that set up to cure. I did this kind of late at night, so it'll be done by the next day, and then I'll add 2 coats of epoxy to this tumbler before I move on to the next step. So that's what I'm doing here, is just filling that little well. It didn't fill it up all the way, but it did add a little something extra, and has a really pretty pink gold shift into this mica powder, and it just added a little extra something that I thought a little added. Let me speak. It added a little extra something to this tumbler, so it didn't have just a boring butt to it. So after 2 coats of epoxy, this is what we are left with. And I just cut out 1 simple strip of rose gold metallic vinyl. And I'm going to place a strip of this right in the middle between the 2 vinyls. And just go all the way around the tumbler. And I started at where the back of the seams of the 2 vinyls were. Just keep all of the seams in one area and go all the way around, cut that off. And I do seal the vinyl with just one little coat of the CC DIY clear coat. And then I add a coat of epoxy with marshmallow additive by the Glitter Heart Co. into it, and then I'll add this to the tumbler, and that is going to add just a nice little sheen of glitter to it, but not overpowering, just so that when you look at the tumbler, you just have a little bit of sparkle to it. And so I just mixed up, it's 20 milliliters of epoxy, and smooth that all over the tumbler. And then once that was done, it only needed 1 more coat of epoxy. And once I get all this epoxy on, I'll use my torch to pop any bubbles. And after the final coat of epoxy, this is done, and I absolutely love it. It's simple, yet has such an elegance about it, and I just love it. I think it's gorgeous. The 2 vinyls together is just stunning to me. So I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a great big thumbs up, and I will see you on the next video. Bye, guys.